Start. Next, he would contend that the incident took place and the post-mortem was conducted allegedly on 10th March 2005. However, the report is prepared allegedly only on 25th August 2005. Learned Counsel posed the question as to the possibility that the post-mortem report in fact may be related to somebody else. In this regard, he drew our attention to the deposition of the father of the deceased. Father of the deceased had deposed that it was true that the marriage of the appellant and the deceased was performed happily, and there was no quarrel between the spouses. Further, he has stated as follows: it is true that there are 4 rooms in the house of accused. It is true that accused numbers 1 and 4 were using separate bedroom in the house. It is true that within 6 months from the marriage, wherever Sultana visited to my house, she told me that I had performed her marriage in proper house and he is happy in the house of accused. It is true that my daughter was cooperative and helpful natured girl. It is true that when Sultana came to my house for Ramzan festival, that time Sultana told me that I should take care her in the house of accused and there is no entertainment in my house. He would further point out that reversing the verdict of the trial court, the High Court has acquitted the appellant as also the other accused of the charge under section 498A of the IPC. This means that the appellant was not found guilty of cruelty under the said provision. It was therefore wholly illogical and not warranted by the evidence to convict the appellant under section 302 of the IPC. The inconsistency between the inquest report and the post-mortem report was highlighted and it was submitted that it has not received due consideration. He would submit that the external injuries which were noted in the inquest Panchnama in respect of swelling of the head, clear mark of rope to neck, injuries to thigh and back are not noted by the doctor in the post-mortem report. He complains that in a case of difference of injuries between the inquest Panchnama and the post-mortem report, the post-mortem report will prevail over. He reminds that the post-mortem report has been prepared after more than 5 months from the date on which the post-mortem was allegedly performed. He would submit that when doubts were established, the appellant should have been the beneficiary of doubts. He would further submit that if an adult person is throttled, there would be resistance and the resistance would be manifested. There is no evidence of any such resistance. All this points to the deceased having committed suicide. He further points out that, as noted by the court itself, it was the appellant who took the deceased to the hospital. Had the appellant been the culprit, he would have destroyed the body and certainly not taken the person to the hospital. Per contra, the learned counsel for the state supported the judgment passed by the High Court. He would point out that as regards the discrepancy in the date of preparation of the post-mortem report, questions have been put in the examination of PW1 doctor and answers elicited. There was a valid explanation, which was the non-availability of one of the doctors. He further pointed out that the provisional report was given on the date of the post-mortem, that is, on 10 March 2005. The trial court has accepted that the following circumstances stood proved against the appellant and other accused. 1 motive, 2 custodial death of the deceased. 3 non-disclosure of death by the appellant to the complainant. 4 false evidence of accused of hanging. 5 inquest panchnama. And 6 spot panchnama. As regards motive, the trial court relied on the evidence of PW3 that all the accused were insisting on the deceased to bring half tola gold, which remained to be provided by the time of marriage, besides one choice dress and rupees 5,000 for bakery business. The appellant reiterated his demand and repeated his threat to kill deceased if the demands were not met after 8 days of her return to his house. The trial court also placed reliance on PW4, the aunt of the deceased, in this regard. It is after the threat mentioned above that the deceased died after 8 to 10 days. It is found that medical evidence showed that the death is caused by throttling. All the accused by their joint act, one by pressing her neck, one by catching hold of her hand, another by catching hold of her leg, and one by pressing her leg, killed her. There is medical evidence to prove violence by killing her by throttling and pressing her neck. Full stop, over.